Let us for a few moments think of Sri Ramakrishna and his spiritual message. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Sthapakaya Cha Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Sthapakaya Cha Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatar Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to remove all our ignorance, to lead us from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to realize our true nature and enjoy eternal peace and bliss. Sri Ramakrishna said to Keshav Chandra Sen a very significant statement he made. One cannot conquer ignorance without the power of God. That's why we are all in great trouble. Though we want to get rid of ignorance, it's not going away. More and more we are entering into darkness instead of getting out of it. That means, what is to be done? Why it is so? So the answer also is implied in the statement of Sri Ramakrishna. First of all, you should know that all suffering in this world is, broadly speaking, because of ignorance. This ignorance is one's sense of ego. So ego, that is the root cause of all the troubles we are facing in the world. So when a man is free from this egoism, then only he becomes qualified to get the grace of God, by the help of which ignorance is removed. We have to get God's grace. That's true. Then what's to be done? Next question. It won't come by itself unless you are ready to receive the grace of God. If you are not receiving, if you are careless and easygoing, a kind of haphazard life, you will not get God's grace. So it follows that you will have to get yourself trained in a systematic way. No use of complaining or worrying, just keep on doing it. That's the way. So Sri Ramakrishna suggests, surrender your life. Offer it to God. Of course, spirituality depends upon your faith, your belief in the existence of God. If you don't have that initial faith that God is present everywhere, unless you have this notion firmly in your heart, you won't get faith. If you don't get faith, then ego overpowers you. You become too important to yourself and destroy yourself thereby. So, how to get into the faith, how to believe the presence of God. For that Sri Ramakrishna suggests to be with holy association. By constantly coming in contact with men of wisdom, with people who are living the spirituality, by constantly coming in contact with them, certainly you will develop faith in the existence of God. So, you have to surrender your life, you have to surrender your mind, you have to surrender your intellect. Surrendering is the only way to crush your ego. Otherwise you always think you are always very important and you always feel too much of yourself. So offer everything at the blessed feet of the Lord of all. Have that attitude inside your mind, renouncing everything that you call your own. Always cherish the idea, nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to Him. Whomsoever you are worshipping, in whatsoever form, your chosen ideal is your everything. You have yourself given up to Him, to the Lord. That feeling must be very prominent in your day-to-day activities. Then that faith becomes strengthened and you will have experiences proving the efficacy of your faith. Such a person is blessed indeed. Such a person alone becomes really happy in the real sense of the term. Of himself one can accomplish nothing. Only one thing one can do: pray to God and pray unceasingly. That's the way to forget the ego altogether. You must continually remember that God alone is real and that God alone is the truth. Then only can you be freed from ignorance. The veil of ignorance is lifted only by the divine grace. Once the veil of ignorance is lifted, you will have the direct vision of God. Then you will be in Samadhi. Swami Premananda ji, one of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, said, what is the root of ignorance? What is the root of delusion? It is the sense of little, me and mine. Give up this attachment to the little self. This world belongs to you, O Lord. You are the master. I am only one of your servants. This attitude will help you to get the grace of God. Your life becomes fruitful only if you struggle to break out this net of ignorance. Little struggle is required. Swami Adbhutananda ji, another disciple, said, what is ignorance? Every Mahatma has described it in a wonderful way. Adbhutananda ji, another great soul, direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. According to him, selfishness itself is ignorance. Because of selfishness, you tend to become more and more evil. So ignorance is the root of all evil because of selfishness. Ignorance means absence of the knowledge of the self. Because you are not aware of the true nature of your own glorious self, you are unnecessarily suffering. Ignorance or Maya may also mean false knowledge. False knowledge. That's why Maya and ignorance mean the same thing. Another disciple, Ramakrishna ji, he said about ignorance, so long as you are clinging to your ignorance and desires, God will not come to free you. The way is that you should turn all your desires to Him, then He will come. When He comes, selfishness and ignorance go away without any trace. But then we must not pretend to be free from desire. The feeling must be absolutely sincere. There should not be any fraud. The whole game we see in this world is being performed on account of this most powerful ignorance. It is because of ignorance one tries to justify one's views with numerous intellectual arguments, and the result is philosophizing. All these things will go away once he is blessed with the true insight. Indeed, it is this ego, born of ignorance, that binds your vision. God's glory is manifest all around us, but still we don't see Him. The reason being that we are reluctant to cast off the veil of ignorance that covers our vision. So that is about ignorance, what Sri Ramakrishna told. The next point he said, pleasure and pain are inevitable in the life of the world. When you know the fact, you won't get disturbed. If you think you are the only person getting the pain, then you may be horrified to know. It is not like that. It is everywhere. Pleasure and pain, they go hand in hand. One suffers now and then from a little worry and trouble. Sri Ramakrishna explains it by giving an example. A man living in a room full of soot cannot avoid being a little stained. Then the devotee asked what he should do now. Sri Ramakrishna instructed him, well, chant the name of Hari, morning and evening, clapping your hands. Get yourself absorbed in the repetition of the divine name. Sri Ramakrishna himself was doing that even after his realization of the Parabrahman, even after his Nirvikalpa Samadhi, even after Totapuri initiated him into the formless aspect of Brahman, he never stopped singing the glories of the Divine Mother. In fact, his ecstatic joy increased after Totapuri's advent. To him, there is no difference between Divine Mother and Parabrahman. They are one and the same in letter and spirit. What is Brahman is Divine Mother. What is Divine Mother is verily Brahman. So you don't have to negate. What you call Brahman, I am calling as Divine Mother. To experience the joy of Brahman, I am adoring Divine Mother. So Brahman's glory is understood through his power. That is Divine Mother. So he suggests very easy method to get over this disease of worldliness. Just keep on repeating the divine name. It has got tremendous power. Every Mahatman who has advanced in the spiritual life has said the same thing. What to speak of men of realization. Whomsoever you call him a Mahatma, you must know he will be always repeating mentally the divine name. If he is a worshipper of the formless aspect of Brahman, he will be repeating Mahavakyas of the Upanishads, Aham Brahmasmi, etc. Sohamasmi, Tattvamasi, Ayamatma Brahma. All these famous statements of the Upanishads, he keeps on meditating upon them. Though outwardly he may be engaged in activities, his mind is always in tune with the Paramatman. Lord Krishna, who taught famous yogas in the Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Sharanagati Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, so many yogas. He says in the Gita, in the chapter 10, verse number 25, Yajnanam Japa Yajñosmi. Fantastic statement. You don't have to have any disbelief with regards to doing japa. Be more inspired. In fact, japa gives you quick result than anything else. It depends upon how you do it. Lord Krishna says, of all the yajnas, I am japa yajna. So much of importance is given to yajna. You give your mind itself as ahuti in the yajna, then you will see wonder of wonders. Bringing the chosen ideal in front of you is the work of japa. It is the responsibility of the japa. It will take care of. You need not have to worry, oh, I did not see, I didn't have the vision. No, don't worry. That only shows you are not doing japa properly. Your job is only to do the japa. It is the responsibility of the japa to bring God to you. How does it do? It has got its own method. What does japa do? It purifies the heart, removes all the dirt from yourself, makes it clean so that God can be revealed there. That's the glory of japa. There's a Sanskrit verse, afterwards I will tell you the English meaning. Puja koti samaha stotram. Puja koti samastotram. Stotra koti samam japaha. Chanting of a hymn, stotra, is equivalent to worshipping God million times. I am translating crore as million. Anyway, just to give an idea. And repetition of the divine name is equivalent to million chanting of hymns. So you can understand now the significance of japa, repetition of the divine name. It is immediately activized. Once you started doing japa, it starts working. It is just like pressing the button, electric switch on, immediately the current comes. Immediately, as soon as you press the button, the current is there. Just so, when you start repeating the mantra, it starts working in its own mysterious way. What does it do? All the accumulated sins will be washed away by japa, paving the way for the realization of God. So, what the holy people say is that divine name has the potency to stamp and mold the consciousness which repeats it into the nature of the divinity for which the name stands and prepare it for the reception of the gathering revelation of the Godhead. These divine names have got special significance. Each divine name is considered a mantra which has got the power to destroy your ignorance totally. The rishis, the sages who did austerities in the forests, in secluded life, leading a secluded life, they perceived the sound bodies of the devatas, deities, in their spiritual vision and audience, and they instituted them as mantras as terms of call to the respective deities. When a mantra is uttered effectively, what does it do? It sets in motion vibrations that evoke the corresponding deity into the atmosphere where it is uttered. This is the principle underlying the mantra and Japa Yoga. Sound has a form. There is a Chaitanya, a consciousness in each mantra, and that should be awakened. Everything needs medium to express itself. God expresses Himself through the mantra. So we get revelation through the mantra. When the Guru gives the mantra, what does he do? Because the disciple may not be aware of that. The Guru offers his worship to God, prays to Him for the disciple. He energizes the mantra by his spiritual power, sets its life into motion, and delivers it into the being of the disciple. So when the mantra is given to the disciple, at that point of time it is charged with the power, and that power has been transmitted to the disciple by the Guru. He is sharing his own spiritual power with the disciple. In a way, it's a great sacrifice. It is then the recipient thereafter. He should tend and nourish the life of the mantra so received, to let it instill itself into the core of his being, spread all through his consciousness. And this is done by faith. This is done by devotion. This is done by assiduous and loving repetition. When you are repeating the mantra, always be conscious of what you are repeating. Suppose you are repeating 10 times, all the 10 times be very attentive. Every time you repeat the mantra, every time give your whole attention to what you are repeating. That is the way to awaken the mantra. That means he should learn to cherish and love the mantra for itself and not as a means or process to an end. So adored, the mantra becomes one with him and begins to repeat itself spontaneously without any effort on his part. Then on, one has only to listen to this ringing of the mantra till in the fullness of time it reveals itself as none other than the very divinity that is being invoked. This is the course of a successful Japa sadhana. In this Japa sadhana, you don't have to spend any money. So money should not bother you. Oh, to do Japsa, what can I do? I have to spend $100. I have no money. I have to go for a job. Don't give that reason. Japa doesn't want your money. It wants your mind only, not your other things. So, first of all, you must decide whether you are really willing to get over the ignorance or just you want to philosophize whatever you are living in whatever fashion. I already told, philosophizing will not help you. If you want to solve the problem of suffering, you must be dhira. You must be courageous to practice the sadhana. Never be afraid of anything. Never get disturbed whatever that might happen. Make the mind strong Be firmly devoted. Whole spirituality depends upon your loving faith and devotion to God. If that is there, surely you will get the vision of God. There is no doubt about it. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna has said about conquering ignorance. Now it is for you to fight out the ignorance. Because I am dealing with chapter 20, that the matter I took up. I have not yet taken up the points read in chapter 21. Page number 416. Pranakrishna asked a question. Sir, what's the nature of the life after death? Master said, Keshub Sen also asked that question. As long as a man remains ignorant, that is to say, as long as he has not realized God, so long will he be born. But after attaining knowledge, he will not have to come back to this earth or to any other plane of existence. I think I have read this. Anyway, it's all right. The potter puts his pots in the sun to dry. Haven't you noticed that among them there are both baked and unbaked ones? When a cow happens to walk over them, some of the parts get broken to pieces. The broken parts that are already baked, the potter throws away, since they are of no more use to him. But the soft ones, though broken, he gathers up. He makes them into a lump, and out of this forms new parts. In the same way, so long as a man has not realized God, he will have to come back to the potter's hand. That is, he will have to be born again and again. What's the use of sowing a boiled paddy grain? It will never bring forth a shoot. Likewise, if a man is boiled in the fire of knowledge, he will not be used for new creation. He is liberated. According to the Puranas, the Bhakta and the Bhagavan are two separate entities. I am one and you are another. The body is a plate, as it were, containing the water of mind, intelligence and ego. Brahman is like the sun. It is reflected in the water. Therefore the devotee sees the divine form. According to the Vedanta, Brahman alone is real and all else is Maya, dreamlike and unsubstantial. The ego, like a stick, lies across the ocean of Chidananda. To him, he said, listen to what I am saying. When this ego is taken away, there remains only one undivided ocean of Satchidananda. But as long as the stick of ego remains, there is an appearance of two. Here is one part of the water and there another part. Attaining the knowledge of Brahman, one is established in Samadhi, then the ego is effaced. But Shankaracharya retained the ego in order to teach men. To Pranakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna said, but there are signs that distinguish the man of knowledge. Some people think they have knowledge. What are the characteristics of knowledge? A jnani cannot injure anybody. He becomes like a child. If a steel sword touches the philosopher's stone, it is transformed into gold. Gold can never cut. It may seem from the outside that a jnani also has anger or egotism, but in reality he has no such thing. From a distance, a burnt string lying on the ground may look like a real one, but if you come near and blow at it, it disappears altogether. The anger and egotism of a jnani are mere appearances. They are not real. A child has no attachment. He makes a playhouse, and if anyone touches it, he will jump about and cry. The next moment he himself will break it. This moment he may be very attached to his cloth. He says, my daddy has given it to me. I won't part with it. But the next moment you can cajole him away from it with a toy. He will go away with you, leaving the cloth behind. These are the characteristics of a jnani. Perhaps he has many luxuries at home, couch, chairs, paintings and equipage. But any day he may leave all these and go off to Benares. According to Vedanta, the waking state too is unreal. Once a woodcutter lay dreaming. When someone woke him up, at that time he was dreaming. Greatly annoyed, he said, why have you disturbed my sleep? I was dreaming that I was a king and the father of 7 children. The princes were becoming well versed in letters and military arts. I was secure on my throne and ruled over my subjects. Why have you demolished my world of joy? But that was a mere dream, said the other man. Why should that bother you? Fool, said the woodcutter. You don't understand. My becoming a king in the dream was just as real as is my being a woodcutter. If being a woodcutter is real, then being a king in a dream is also real. Ramakrishna always talked about Jnana. Was this why the master described the state of a jnani? Now he proceeded to describe the state of the Vijnani. Master said, Jnana is the realization of self through the process of neti neti, not this, not this. One goes into samadhi through this process of elimination and realizes the Atman. But Vijnana means knowledge with a greater fullness. Some have heard of milk, some have seen milk, and some have drunk milk. He who has merely heard of it is ignorant. He who has seen it is a jnani. But he who has drunk it has Vijnana, that is to say, a fuller knowledge of it. After having the vision of God, one talks to him as if he were an intimate relative. That is Vijnana. First of all, you must discover it, following the method of neti neti. He is not the 5 elements, nor the sense organs, nor the mind, nor the intelligence, nor the ego. He is beyond all these cosmic principles. You want to climb to the roof, then you must eliminate and leave behind all the steps one by one. The steps are by no means the roof. But after reaching the roof, you find that the steps are made of the same materials, brick, lime and brick dust, as a roof. It is the Supreme Brahman that has become the universe and its living beings and the 24 cosmic principles. That which is Atman has become the 5 elements. You may ask why the earth is so hard if it has come out of Atman. All is possible through the will of God. Don't you see that bone and flesh are made from blood and semen? How hard sea foam becomes? After attaining Vijnana, one can live in the world as well. Then one clearly realizes that God Himself has become the universe and all living beings, that He is not outside the world. We shall stop here. Any question? A formless aspect of God. See, the rishis, the sages who practiced spiritual austerities in this secluded place, they chanted, they dwell upon the spiritual ideas described in the Upanishads. Namely, the whole world is Brahman itself. Everything is Brahman only. So that is the formless aspect of Brahman. So, when he constantly meditates on that idea, giving the whole mind to it, by practicing 40 years of discipline, then he initiated that into Sri Ramakrishna. He gave the formless aspect of meditation to Sri Ramakrishna, which Sri Ramakrishna realized in 3 days, which took 40 years for Totapuri. But then Sri Ramakrishna's mind was so fertile, so pure, so clean, he could, whatever practice he would undertake, he would get realization in 3 days. So he got the experience of what is Nirakar Nirgun Brahman, what it exactly means. The whole universe is Brahman, nothing but Brahman. That's also true. And afterwards, when he came down to relative consciousness, when he came to this relative world, then he accepts the power of Brahman. That is Prakriti, which he calls it Divine Mother, and he began to dance in joy by seeing the glory of the Divine Mother. So Brahman's glory, the all-pervading Brahman's bliss, which Sri Ramakrishna had experienced in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, got the same experience by the vision of the Divine Mother. And then he said it is not easy for all the people to meditate upon an abstract thing. It's perfectly all right if you take any form of God, but if your mind is bent on taking formless aspect, very good, go ahead. But don't criticize anybody who is worshipping God with form. You go, you do what you want to do, that's all. There the matter ends. Afterwards, we will know the exact truth, what it is. That way. What exactly you wanted to ask the question, I don't know. Yeah, that is true. That is, I'm telling you, the Mahavakyas of the Upanishads. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahman. It is true. You are verily that Brahman. You are not either Hindu or Christian or Muhammad or this, that, all this different catalog. You don't belong to any of this list. I am the pure Brahman. That's the truth. But to meditate on the truth, you require certain conditions. You'll have to go to the secluded place and meditate for a long time, and you have to condition your mind. You have to follow rigorous discipline in the sense that mind should not hanker after anything else. You want only Brahman, nothing else, nothing but Brahman. I want only Brahman, nothing but Brahman. If that is your stand, and you don't want to get back from that stand, then in fullness of time you will realize what it is. Just like Buddha got the revelation sitting under a bodh tree. Until I get the revelation I won't go. He got it. So like that determination, that is what the rishis have experienced. There are so many ways of expressing this Nirakar Brahman. One is Aham Brahman, I am that Brahman. I am not this body, I am not this so and so. I am beyond that. I am not this ego, I am not this mind, I am not this. I am beyond all this. I am that Brahman. So constantly dwelling on that. I am that Brahman. Who am I? I am that Brahman. How is it? I want to look into that. So I am turning my mind into that, to know, to see what it is. So when you are meditating constantly, that mantra becomes activized. In course of time, you will get the samadhi. Same way, the other mantra, thou art that. That means Tattvamasi. That's the meaning of thou art that. That, why they call it that? Because it is neither man nor woman. Because always men and women, they fight. God belongs only to men. Or God belongs only to women. No, it is it. It has no gender. So, you are that. Whether you may be in this female form, he may be in the male form. These are all forms only, just like wearing a coat. One may be in a tiger's form, Another may be in a snake forms are forms, that's all. Like that. So, in so many ways, the Brahman has been described in the Upanishads. That is what is the source of your consciousness? That is Brahman. So that is in you. So you have to realize it. That's all. Whatever language you may use, it's perfectly all right. Why the Sanskrit is used? Because these statements are made by the Mahatmas. So they are authenticated. That's all. But if you have that idea of divinity in whatever you are uttering, that works out. Because you can't expect in America everybody knows Sanskrit. But that doesn't mean that American cannot have a realization of God. It's not like that. Whatever language is immaterial. Language is meant only to communicate yourself with God. That's all. God answers to you in your own language. That's the beauty of it. In your own language, God will answer. An illiterate becomes literate. Many instances are there. Many stories of saints are there. Who have not read any Upanishads, but by the grace of God, they become more learned than all the learned people. So, it is like that. Mantra is a sound form of the deity. Sound form. When you repeat that mantra, that vibration in course of time reveals the form on which you are meditating upon. It is no more a mechanical japa. People always talk, is it mechanical japa, mechanical japa? Because they want quick result. It's true. It is not that we should not aspire for result. We must. With that zeal we must start. Today I must see Sri Ramakrishna. With that zeal I should sit and do japa. But in course of my japa, how much time my mind is sitting on Sri Ramakrishna, how much time the mind has run away. That is your measuring rod. If, for example, you sit for 10 minutes, if all the 10 minutes if the mind is on Sri Ramakrishna, then I understand. Yes. Then you will have real satisfaction also. Oh, today my meditation was very good. Because you felt these 10 minutes I am completely peaceful. Mind did not wander. You feel joy. So like that, slowly you must be able to devote more and more time on the divine idea and the spiritual idea. That's what Sri Ramakrishna tells. After getting the knowledge, then go and live in the world. Nothing will happen. But first you must get the knowledge. First you must realize the God. You must realize God. That's why the mantra is given. But people don't practice. Not that all people behave the same way. There are people who practice also. Depends upon the intensity of practice. Mother used to sit morning every day after taking bath in the Ganges early morning 3:30. She would sit for meditation up to 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock she is ready for work. Whole day she would work up to 11 o'clock in the night. But she would feel that joy, that immense joy. You must know that Holy Mother was trained by Sri Ramakrishna himself. So she would feel immense joy in that meditation. That's why they could sit. That's the indication. You are not aware of the external things. When you are sitting, you are absorbed, totally absorbed. It's a kind of relaxation, actually. Don't think that sleep is the only relaxation method. Meditation is also a kind of relaxation. Only you must know how to do the meditation properly. For most of us, meditation is very tense. Because there is always fighting in the mind. Fighting with samskaras. No, because you are able to repeat so many times, continuously, non-stop, with your full attention on the mantra, mantra becomes awakened. I already told you, it gets awakened. That it becomes, you see the visible manifestation of that mantra in your heart. That gives you more joy, more peacefulness. But the point is, every day we eat mechanically.
Yeah, but
But it nourishes.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't eat, you won't nourish your body. Though it is mechanical in one sense,
Yeah.
in another sense it's not mechanical. It has got its utility. All the Mahatmas, wherever you see, everybody tells, repeat the divine name. Any Mahatma, whether Christian, Muhammad or Hindu, anybody, they ask you to repeat. Because that is the only way. Otherwise, how do you get communication? Divine name is a card which establishes connection between yourself and the God. It is like a card. By holding on to it, you can reach God. Continuously repeating divine name means you are holding the rope of divine name and moving onward towards God Himself. It is just like that. Holy Mother herself has repeated several thousand times, and she herself tells, Brahmananda Maharaj tells, that is called discipline. Yeah. But the result is you get peacefulness. Even let alone meditation, even let alone japa, even worship. Suppose you, every day you spend about 15 minutes in worship. After worship you feel a kind of inner peace. Without your knowledge you feel that. You feel a kind of serenity, serene mood after worship. Provided you do the worship in a proper way. If while doing worship if your mind wanders somewhere else, of course then that's a different question. But generally, generally I see those who, if you can see also, those who really every day, very regularly do sadhana, worship, etc., you see their face. It has got sattvic look, calm and serene and very polite, pleasing. Those features, you can see those features in such people. What we read about the features of devotion, you can see those features in those persons who do worship like that. So in order to do concentrated worship, they undergo personal discipline and they take all necessary steps to make it properly done. Everything has got its wonderful value. That's after coming to Sri Ramakrishna, that I have understood. Everything has got a value. Don't condemn anybody, don't condemn anything. That's what I have learned. At least that much I have learned. Yeah, good. Yeah, right. All right, we shall stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean, and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or revenue. The playthings of lust are the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for Thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is Thy servant, O sweet one. In Thy mercy consider him as dust beneath Thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from Thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without Thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at Thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stealest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear, may the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works be satisfied, for he being pleased the whole universe becomes pleased, he being satisfied the whole universe feels satisfied.